Welcome on out to Lee Jordan Field here in beautiful downtown Shugiak, Alaska. I'm Lance Morris here, bringing you the play-by-play action for both games of today's doubleheader versus the Peninsula Oilers. First pitch to Darius Hill. Taken for a called strike one. First pitch time of 4:05 out here in Alaska. Here's the 0-1. This is a tad low for ball one. 1-1 the count to Hill. After Hill, it'll be shortstop Trey Dawson and the first baseman Jonathan Washam coming to the plate. The 1-1. Just outside for ball two. 2-1 the count to the center fielder Darius Hill. Plays his ball at West Virginia. Here's the 2-1. In there called strike two. Evens up the count at 2-2. On the mound today for your Chinooks, it's Brody Harris. Plays at Spring Arbor University. The 2-2. That's just barely fouled back, so Hill stays alive at 2-2. Hill second on the team in average, hitting .333. The 2-2. That's fouled out of play. Count remains 2-2. Now here comes the 2-2. Low high, ball three. That'll make it a full count, 3-2 to Darius Hill to start off this contest between the Oilers and your Chinooks. Here comes the 3-2. That's it on the ground just past the glove of Harris. Bass gets to it. Over to first just in time for out number one. One down top of the first inning here in Shugiak. Trey Dawson now to the plate for the Oilers. Here comes the first pitch to Dawson. Breaking pitch just misses inside for ball one. Dawson, the shortstop, hitting .310 on the season. The 1-0. Hit on the ground softly third base side. Ballard will wait for it to go foul before touching it. Count even 1-1 to Trey Dawson. Dawson, the 6'1" freshman from LSU. Again, the count 1-1 to Dawson. Here's the 1-1. Breaking pitch is going to miss just outside ball two. 2-1 to Dawson. Here's the 2-1. That's going to miss for ball three. 3-1 to Dawson. Dawson also on the summer, 6 doubles, 2 home runs to go with 13 RBIs. The 3-1. In there called strike two on the inner half of the plate. So that'll make it a full count, 3-2 to Dawson. Here's a 3-2. Hit on the ground, left side. Millard will field it. Gets it over to first in time for out number two. Two down top of the first inning between the Chinooks and the Oilers. Jonathan Washam coming up to the plate. Here's the first pitch to Washam. Taken for a called strike one. Defensively for the Chinooks, starting in the outfield, Same defensive alignment out there as yesterday. Masato's in left, Sanford in center with Vansaw in right. The 0-1 hit on the ground left side, it goes foul. 0-2 now to Jonathan Washam. In the infield, starting at third, it's Tim Millard at third, Aaron Shackelford at short, Will Bass at second, Ethan Whisker at first, Ben Hill doing the catching. Here's the 0-2. Outside, ball 1. Count now 1-2 to Washam. Here's the 1-2. Fouls that back out of play. Stays alive at 1-2. Here comes the 1-2. And that's hit into left field. That'll drop in for a base hit. So Washam gets on with 2 down here in the top of the first.
Number 23, the designated hitter, Seth DeWitt.
That'll bring Seth DeWitt up to the plate with 2 down here in the top of the first. Here's the first pitch to DeWitt. Taken for ball 1. DeWitt, the 6'2 junior from Jacksonville University. The 1-0. Inside for ball 2. 2-0 now to DeWitt. The 2-0. Swing and a miss from DeWitt makes the count 2-1. DeWitt up to the plate. Washam, the runner at first for the Oilers. 2 down top of the first. Here's the 2-1. Misses down and in for ball 3. 3-1 now to DeWitt. Three and 1 to DeWitt. Here's the 3-1. Taken on the outside half for a called strike 2. That again makes it a full count 3-2 to Seth DeWitt. And time will be called right before Harris could start his delivery. Count remains 3-2 to Seth DeWitt. 2 down top of the first inning. The 3-2. Outside, ball 4. So DeWitt draws the walk, puts runners at first and second for Brody Wofford.
Number 12, the left fielder, Brody Wofford.
So Wofford coming to the plate with 2 down, runners at first and second. First pitch to Wofford. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike 1. Wofford hitting .250 on the summer. 2 doubles, 11 RBIs. Here's the 0-1. Another breaking pitch this time. It'll miss for ball 1. Count even at 1-1 to Brody Wofford. The 1-1. That'll miss low ball 2. 2-1 the count. Jeffrey Chopron waiting on deck for the Oilers. Two down, top of the first inning. Runners at first and second. Here's the 2-1. Line left side, that'll go out of play. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brody Wofford. Washam the runner at second, DeWitt the runner at first. Now the 2-2. Fouled right back at me. If there wasn't a fence here, I'd have gotten nailed. But that's beside the point. Count remains 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Inside, ball 3. Full count now, 3-2 to Wofford, and we've seen 4 full counts already here in the first inning. So Brody's pitch count already getting up there. Now the 3-2, runners on the move, and that's fouled right back again. Count 3-2 in the Brody versus Brody matchup. Here's the 3-2. Hit on the ground, first base side. Whisker makes a diving play. He'll get in front of it. Takes it over to first himself for the final out of the inning. So that'll do it for the top of the first. Oilers leave a couple on. Chinook half of the first coming in just a few moments. And welcome back to the Loretta French Sports Complex as we're about to start the bottom of the first inning between the Oilers and your Chinooks. Still no score on the board. Will Bass will lead things off for the Chinooks. First pitch to him outside, ball 1. On the mound for the Oilers is Tyler Schumpert. The 1-0. Inside ball 2. After Bass, it'll be Hunter Vance and Tim Millard coming to the plate. The 2-0. In there called strike 1. 2-1 the count to Bass. Bass yesterday, 4 walks in his plate appearances. Next one will miss inside ball 3. Bass 1 pitch away from drawing his 5th consecutive walk. The 3-1. In there called strike 2. Full count 3-2 to Will Bass. Here comes the 3-2. And that'll miss for ball 4. So just like yesterday, Bass drawing a walk to start off the bottom of the first. How to bring Hunter Vansaw up to the plate. Vansaw out to the plate. Nobody down. Bottom of the first. Bass the runner at first. Here's the first pitch to Vansaw. Outside, ball 1. Vansaw still leading the Chinooks in average. He's hitting .313. They'll now check on Bass over at first. He'll dive back safely. Counting just 1-0 to Vansaw. The 1-0. Taken down and outside ball 2. To know the count to the Mississippi State commit Hunter Vansaw. The 2-0. Taken for a called strike 1. Two and 1 the count to Vansaw. Nobody down, bottom of the first. Runner at first in Will Bass. The 2-1. Hit on the ground towards second. Chaperon fields it. Only has time to go to first. And he'll go to first in time for the out. So Bass advances to second on the ground out from Vansaw.
Coming to the plate for the Chinooks, number 24, the third baseman, Tim Millard.
That brings Tim Millard up to the plate with 1 down here in the bottom of the first. Now Shumpert will step off and look Bass back over at second. He was getting a pretty big sized lead. Here's the first pitch to Millard. Taken on the outer half for a called strike 1. Millard with a pretty solid game yesterday, had himself a couple hits. Got his average back up to 246. Here's the 0-1. That's fouled back. Count 0-2 to Tim Millard, the redshirt sophomore at Dallas Baptist. Here's the 0-2. Down into the turf, ball 1. One and two the count to Tim Millard. Getting started at third for today's contest. Count still 1-2 to Millard. Along with the 246 average, 4 doubles, 5 total home runs, 17 RBIs. The 1-2. Popped up right side. That'll go out of play. Count remains 1-2 to Tim Millard. One down, bottom of the first. No score on the board yet between the Oilers and the Chinooks. Here's the 1-2. That's on the ground towards Chopper on its second. He'll go over to first in time for out number 2. That does allow Bass to get over to third, though. That brings Ethan Whisker up to the plate. 2 down, bottom of the first, 0-0 between the Oilers and the Chinooks. First pitch to Ethan Whisker. Taken for a called strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss from Whisker. They'll fall behind 0-2. The 0-2. Down into the turf, ball 1. Went to the count to Ethan Whisker. Plays his ball at Hillsdale College. The 1-2. Outside, ball 2. Count even 2-2 to Whisker. Bass, the runner at third. 2 down, bottom of the first. Still no score on the board between the Oilers and the Chinooks. The 2-2. Popped up right side. That'll go out of play. Two and two, the count to Whisker. Here's the 2-2. Fouls that one off the top of the Oilers dugout. Count still at 2-2 to Whisker. Hitting .246 on the summer, tied for the team lead in doubles with 9. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. That's dropped by Huber. He'll flip it over to first to complete the strikeout. So that'll do it for the bottom of the first. Chinooks will leave one stranded after one. Still zeros across the board between the Oilers and your Chinooks. Here's the first pitch to Jeffrey Chopron. He's going to line that into left center for a base hit. He's going to round first, but he's going to stay there as Masano makes a good throw in from left. Chopron's on with a single to start the top of the second.
Number 25, the third baseman, Austin Piscotty.
That brings up Austin Piscotty here in the top of the second. Harris now going to check on Chopron at first. He's back in time. Chopron just 2 steals, has been caught stealing 1 time. So not exactly the first guy that'll be on the move for the Oilers, but we'll see. First pitch to Piscotty. Taken for a call and strike 1. Piscotty getting the start at third for the Oilers. Also pitches for them a little bit. The 0-1. Lines that into center field. It's going to drop in front of Zach Sanford for a base hit. It's back-to-back singles for the Oilers. Puts runners at first and second for Jared Huber.
Number 1, the catcher, Jared Huber.
So Jared Huber up to the plate. Nobody down, top of the second. Runners at second and at first. Here's the first pitch to Jared Huber. Lays down the bunt. Harris will field it. And only has time to go over to first. So the sacrifice bunt works perfectly for Huber, as that'll put runners at second and third with just 1 down.
Batting for the Oilers, number 26, the right fielder, Alex Seifert.
Number 9 hitter Alex Seifert now out to the plate for the Oilers with 1 down. Here's the first pitch to Seifert. Upstairs, ball 1. Seifert usually plays second base for the Oilers, but he's going to get the start in right field today. The 1-0. Just outside for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Seifert. The junior from Jacksonville University goes to school with Seth DeWitt, his teammate. Here's the go. Down into the turf, ball 3. 3-0 now to Seifert. Three and 0 the count to the right fielder, Alex Seifert. The 3-0. That's going to miss for ball 4. So that'll load up the bases with 1 down for the leadoff man, Darius Hill.
Number 11, the center fielder, Darius Hill.
So Hill up to the plate, bases loaded, 1 down. Top of the second inning, no score on the board. First pitch to Hill. Down and outside, ball 1. Hill grounded out to second, his first time up today. The 1-0. Inside, ball 2. Two and 0 to Hill. Here's the 2-0. Taken on the outer half for a called strike 1. 2-1 now to the outfielder from West Virginia. Two and 1 the count to Hill. The 2-1. Fouls that one back as it's off the mask of Ben Hill. Count even once again, 2-2 to Hill. Bases loaded, 1 down, top of the second inning. The 2-2. Got him looking, called strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Brody Harris comes at a pretty opportune time as now there's 2 down. Bases remain loaded. Now the shortstop Trey Dawson coming up to the plate. So Dawson's up with 2 down, top of the second inning. Doubleheader today, so these games just 7 innings. Dawson grounded out to Tim Millard at third, his first time up today. First pitch to Dawson. Catches the outside corner, called strike 1. Dawson, the freshman, plays at LSU. The 0-1. Fouled out of play. Harris ahead in the count, 0-2 on shortstop Trey Dawson. Here's the 0-2. Outside, ball 1. 1-2 to Dawson. Here's the 1-2. Fouled out of play once again.
Foul ball sponsored by Edward Jones Financial Investments in Gavin Reed.
Count 1-2 still to Trey Dawson. Bases loaded, 2 down, top of the second inning. The 1-2. Popped up towards short right field. That'll drop just foul as neither Whisker nor Vansaw could get a good jump on that. Count remains 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Again, Dawson will foul it up and out of play.
And that foul ball sponsored by the Chinooks.
So Dawson doing a good job staying alive up at the plate. Count remains 1-2. Bases loaded. 2 down, top of the second. The 1-2. Takes that one low for ball 2. Count now 2-2 to Trey Dawson. Jonathan Washam waiting on deck for the Oilers. Here's the 2-2. Got him looking, called strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. 2 straight strikeouts will do it for the top of the second as the Oilers will leave the bases loaded. Chinooks and the Oilers still tied at nothing here in Chugiak. Welcome back out to downtown Chugiak as we're starting the bottom of the second inning between the Chinooks and the Oilers. First pitch to Aaron Shackelford outside, ball 1. After Aaron Shackelford, it'll be Alex Masato, then Preston White making his debut in the Chinooks lineup as a hitter. 1-0 will miss down and outside, ball 2. The 2-0. Foul right back. Again in my direction. That's always fun. 2-1 to the shortstop Shackelford. The 2-1. Inside ball 3. The 3-1. Outside ball 4. So Shackelford draws the walk to start the bottom of the second. That brings Alex Masato up to the plate. Masato comes up to the plate, nobody down, bottom of the second. Still 0-0 between the Oilers and the Chinooks. Here's the first pitch to Masato. Inside ball 1. Masato, the junior, originally from Long Island, New York. The 1-0. Big swing and a miss there. Evens up the count at 1-1. Masato got his average up to 143 after yesterday's game, where he went 1 for 4. Just now starting to become a fixture in the outfield for the Chinooks. Here's the 1-1. Fouls that one back. 1-2 the count to Masato. Shackelford, the runner at first for the Chinooks. Masato up to the plate with the 1-2 count. The 1-2, Shack on the move. That one's fouled back. So 1-2, the count to Masato. Still nobody down, bottom of the second. Here's the 1-2. That one's fouled back and out of play. Count remains 1-2 to Masato. Masato at Tyler hit .276 with 5 doubles, 2 home runs, and 17 RBIs. As they'll throw to first to check on Shack. He dives back safely. We'll check on Shack again. He'll dive back in time, but a pretty close play. Count still 1-2. As they'll check on Shack again at first. He dives back in time. Yesterday, Masato was our player of the game, not just because of his single, but because he made a game-saving play in left field that would have, if nothing else, broke the game open for the Bucks. The 1-2. Down into the turf. Shack's going to take off from first. He's in there safely. 2-2 the count to Masato. Shaq advances the second on the wild pitch. The 2-2. Hit on the ground towards third. Scotty will field it. Washam's off the bag on the throw. Masato safe over at first. So now they're going to come out and talk to Silas Drayden about that call. I think it was pretty clear that Washam was off the bag that time. I don't know why they were really conferring it. It was pretty clear to me that he was off the bag. But that was from my viewpoint. Maybe they saw something different. So the umpires conferring on the call at first. And they're going to go back and overturn the call. So they're going to call Masato out at first. Again, from my vantage point, looked like he was safe. And that Washam was off the bag, but that will change. So that brings Preston White up to the plate for the first time this summer. Because now they're going to check on Shaq, and he is picked off over at second. So a moment ago we had 2 runners on, now we have nobody on. First pitch Preston White in there for a called strike 1. Well, this is White's first appearance this summer. He was a hitter at times at Birmingham Southern. The 0-1, down and outside. 1-1 the count, and at Birmingham Southern hit about 158, only had 38 at-bats. Also had 6 RBIs, 5 walks. He was also pretty good on the base pass with 6 steals. Now the 1-1. Breaking pitch is going to miss for a ball. That's ball number 2. 2-1 to Preston White. Came in to get the save in yesterday's game against the Bucks. The 2-1. Taken to the belt for a called strike 2. Preston's been taking batting practice for the last couple weeks or so. So it's not like he hasn't swung a bat all summer. The 2-2. Fights that one off, stays alive at 2-2. So the count 2-2 to Preston White. Ben Hill waiting on deck. The 2-2. Taken just inside for a called ball 3. Count full 3-2 to Preston White. Here's the 3-2. Comes inside and plunks him. How about that for your first at-bat? So White hit by the pitch. He'll go down to first.
Coming to the plate for your Chinooks, number 30, the catcher, Ben Hill.
So that brings the catcher, Ben Hill, up to the plate with 2 down. Preston White now over at first after being hit by the pitch. And Hill will call for time. Hill, the catcher from Olivet Nazarene. This summer he's hitting 159. First pitch to Hill. Inside, ball one. Want to know the count to Hill? Preston White, the runner at first. The 1-0. Upstairs, ball two, as they'll check on White. He'll dive back in time. Nice throw, though, from Huber. And now they're going to come have a chat with Schumpert on the mound. Not sure if this is just to calm him down or if it's injury related or anything, but it's a quick meeting. Two 2-0 is the count to Ben Hill. 2 down, bottom of the second, still no score on the board. Here's the 2-0. Taken for a called strike one. Two and one, the count to Ben Hill. Here's the 2-1. Inside, ball three. Schumpert has definitely been struggling with his location. Has allowed 2 walks and hit Preston White, his last at bat. The 3-1. That's fouled back. Count 3-2 to Ben Hill. It's all filled up. Might get a chance to see Preston White's speed over there, assuming he will take off on the 3-2 pitch. The 3-2. And that's chopped back foul. White was on the move that time. Count still full at 3-2 to Hill. Zach Sanford waiting on deck. The 3-2. Down and outside, ball four. So Hill will draw the walk. Puts runners at first and second. 2 down, bottom of the second for Zach Sanford. So Sanford up to the plate with 2 down. Here's the first pitch to Sanford. Hit on the ground, foul back towards the Oiler dugout. Sanford's got his average back up to 200 on the summer. Had 2 hits in yesterday's game against the Bucks. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss there from Sanford to fall behind 0-2. Oh, and 2 the count to Zach Sanford, the outfielder from Glenville State. Here's the 0-2. That'll get away from Huber. Gets all the way back to the fence right in front of me. So each of the runners will advance a base. Want to see the count to Sanford. Runners at second and third with 2 down. The 1-2. That'll come inside and plunk Sanford. So that loads up the bases for Will Bass. So Bass comes up to the plate. 2 down, bottom of the second. Still 0-0 between the Chinooks and the Oilers. Preston White at third, Ben Hill at second, Zach Sanford at first. First pitch to Will Bass. Outside, ball 1. Bass, his first time up, drew a walk. Exact same thing he did every time he came to the plate yesterday. Yesterday went 0 for 0 with 4 walks. Next one's going to miss for ball 2 as they'll check on Sanford at first. He's still back in there in time. 2-0 the count to Bass. Here's the 2-0. Outside, ball 3. 3-0 the count to Will Bass as Shumpert's in danger of walking in a run. Three and 0 the count to Will Bass. Bases loaded, 2 down. The 3-0. Inside, ball 4. 6th straight time Will Bass has drawn a walk. And this time it'll bring in a run. First run of the game for the Chinooks. They'll take the 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. So that brings Hunter Vansaw up to the plate with 2 down, bottom of the second. Here's the first pitch to Vansaw. Catches the corner for a called strike 1. Vansaw grounded out to second his first time up. The 0-1. Just outside, ball 1. Count even at 1-1 to Vansaw. Here's the 1-1. Down and outside, ball 2. Bases loaded for Hunter Vansaw. Ben Hill at third, Zach Stanford at second, Will Bass over at first. The 2-1. That'll miss for ball 3. Three and 1, the count to Hunter Vansaw. 2 down, bottom of the second. The 3-1. Chopped on the ground, first base side, it'll go foul. That makes it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Hunter Vansaw. The 3-2. Lines that one left side, that'll go foul. Count remains full, 3-2 to Vansaw. Bases loaded, 2 down. Bottom of the second, Chinooks up 1-0. The 3-2. Outside, ball 4. So that walk will bring in another run. Chinooks now take a 2-0 lead. And that will finally do it for Tyler Schumpert. So we'll have a new pitcher coming in the game here in just a moment. Chinooks on top by a 2-0 score. Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field. Still in the bottom of the second. 2 down, bases loaded. Tim Millard now up to the plate. There's a new pitcher on the hill for the Oilers. It's Andrew Bash. So Bass faced with the task of setting down Millard with the bases jacked. First pitch in there for a called strike one. Bash, this will be his 8th appearance. 18 innings, 14 strikeouts to 10 walks. A 1-even ERA. The 0-1 is going to be hit down the right field line, just foul. Count 0-2 to Tim Millard. First time up, he grounded out to second. The 0-2. Down low, ball one. One to the count to Millard. Zach Sanford, the runner at third. Will Bass at second. Hunter Vansaw at first. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Millard goes down on strikes, and that will do it for the bottom of the second. So that'll end the bottom of the second, but not before the Chinooks put 2 on the board, courtesy of some Tyler Shumpert walks. They lead by a score of 2-0 as we enter the third. Jonathan Washam up to the plate for the Oilers to start the top of the third inning. Chinooks on top by a 2-0 score. First pitch to Washam. Laces that out towards right field. Alex Masato goes back to make the grab for out number 1. So that brings up Seth DeWitt with 1 down. After DeWitt, we'll see Brody Wofford coming up to the plate. So Seth DeWitt comes up to the plate with 1 down, top of the third inning. First pitch to him. Breaking pitch will miss for ball 1. DeWitt drew a walk his first time up. The 1-0. Outside ball 2. DeWitt hitting .255 on the summer. 6 doubles to go with 1 home run. The 2-0. Up and outside ball 3. 3-0 now to DeWitt. Here's the 3-0. Upstairs ball 4. So DeWitt's going to draw a walk for the second straight time. That brings up Brody Wofford to the plate.
Number 12, the left fielder, Brody Wofford.
First pitch to Wofford. Breaking pitch in there, called strike one. Wofford grounded out to first, his first time up. The 0-1. Another breaking pitch again in there for a called strike two. Wofford quickly down to the count 0-2. The 0-2. Fastball outside for ball one. One and two now to Wofford, the outfielder from LSU. The 1-2. DeWitt on the move. That's popped up left side. Lard will make the grab. But DeWitt back over to first just in time to avoid being doubled up. Two down, top of the third. Brings up Jeffrey Chopron.
Batting forward, the forward. Number 6, the second baseman, Jeffrey Chopra.
First pitch to Chopron. Misses for ball one. Next one in there for a called strike one. Count even 1-1 to Chopron. The 1-1. That one's fouled back. One and two the count to Chopron. Chopron had a single his first time up. The 1-2. Got him looking, called strike three. Second straight inning that Harris has ended the inning with a strikeout. So that'll do it for the top of the third. Chinooks still on top by a score of 2-0. Ethan Whisker up to the plate to lead off the bottom of the third. He's going to hit that one right back up the middle for a base hit. So that'll be actually the first hit of the game for the Chinooks. They scored their first 2 runs off of walks and being hit by pitches. So that brings Aaron Shackelford up to the plate. Shackelford drew a walk his first time up. He's looking to lay down the bunt, but it'll go foul. After Shackelford, we'll see Alex Masato coming up to the plate. The 0-1. Thinks about the bunt again, pulls it back, but it's strike 2. As they also check on Whisker at first, he's back safely. The 0-2 is going to miss down in the turf for ball 1. 1-2 the count to Shackelford. Places ball at the Masters College. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Shaq's going to go down on strikes. So he'll be out number 1 in the bottom of the third.
Coming to the plate for your Chinooks, number 17, the left fielder, Alex Masada.
First pitch to Alex Masato. On the ground towards short. They'll flip it over to second for 1. Back over to first in time. 6-4-3 double play. So that'll do it for the bottom of the third. Chinooks, though, get their first hit in the third inning. They maintain a 2-0 lead over the Oilers. And welcome back on out to Lee Jordan Field as we're about to start the top of the fourth inning between the Chinooks and the Oilers. 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for the Oilers. Austin Piscotti will lead things off. That'll be Jared Hubert and Alex Seifert coming up. Brody Harrison on the mound for your Chinooks. First pitch to Piscotti. Breaking pitch is going to miss for ball 1. The 1-0. Taken just outside for ball 2. Piscotti had himself a single his first time up. Was eventually stranded at second. The 2-0. It's set out towards center field. Sanford going over. Not going to get there in time. It's going to drop in for another hit. Scotty will advance all the way to second, so Scotty's on with a stand-up double to start the top of the fourth.
Number one, the catcher, Jared Huber.
That brings Jared Huber up to the plate. Nobody down. Top of the fourth inning. Chinooks on top by a 2-0 score. Huber laid down a sacrifice bunt his first time up. First pitch to him. Late on that heater from Harris. We'll just barely get a piece of that. On when the count to Huber. Biscotti, the runner at second for the Oilers. The 0-1. Hit out towards right field. Just foul. Sounds like that might have broken Huber's bat, but it looks like he'll stick with it. So it's an 0-2 count to Huber, the catcher from Texas State. The 0-2. Up and away, ball one. One and two, the count to Huber. Hitting 154 on the summer. Now Harris will step off. After Biscotti got a pretty big lead over there at second. Harris will fake the throw over to second, mostly because there was no one covering at second, so the throw wouldn't have done much good. Count still 1-2 to Huber. The 1-2. Just outside, ball two. Count 2-2 to Jared Huber, the Oiler catcher. The 2-2. Swaver goes down on strikes. He'll be out number one in the top of the fourth.
And Jalapeno's next to rest on is awarding a $10 gift card for every strikeout the Chinooks throw. We will award that at the end of this inning. Number 26, the right fielder, Alex Seifert.
That brings Alex Seifert up to the plate with one down. First pitch to Seifert. It's going to miss for ball one. And now Hill and Harris going to have a quick chat. Seifert drew a walk his first time up today. The 1-0 hit out towards right field. Caught by Hunter Vansaw. Somehow thought that was about to skip in, but he'll make the nice grab, and they will double up Piscotti at second. So that'll do it for the top of the fourth. Chinooks maintain a 2-0 lead. Backyard from downtown Chugiak to start the bottom of the fourth inning. Preston White up to the plate for the Chinooks. First pitch to him taken inside for ball one. After White, it'll be Ben Hill and Zach Sanford coming to the plate. The 1-0 in there for a called strike one. The 1-0. Down low for ball two. There's a new pitcher on the hill for the Oilers as well. It's Wong Ishii coming in place of Andrew Bash. The 2-1. In there for a called strike two. Count 2-2 to Preston White. The 2-2. Down low, ball three. Second straight time, Preston's worked it to a full count. Last time he worked it to a full count, he got plunked in the back by Tyler Schumpert. Here's the 3-2. That's hit on the ground, back up the middle, fielded by Dawson. He'll get that over to first in time for out number one.
Batting for the Chinooks, number 30, the catcher, Ben Hill.
That brings Ben Hill up to the plate with one down here in the bottom of the fourth. Chinooks are on top by a 2-0 score despite only having one hit. First pitch to Hill. Breaking pitch will stay upstairs for ball one. The 1-0. In there for a called strike one. 1-1 the count to Ben Hill. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Count 1-2 to the catcher from Olivet Nazarene University. The 1-2. Slays off of that one for ball 2. Count evened up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2. Breaking pitch will miss up and in for ball 3. Count now full, 3-2 to Ben Hill. The 3-2. That'll miss low for ball 4. So Hill draws his second walk of the day. That brings Zach Sanford up to the plate with 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Sanford was plunked last time he came up to the plate. First pitch to Sanford in there, called strike 1. We'll check on Hill over at first. He'll dive back safely. On the count to Sanford. Sanford will call for time. The 0-1. Taken outside for ball 1. Count even, 1-1 to Zach Sanford. Ben Hill, the runner at first. The 1-1. Down into the turf for ball 2. The 2-1. Swing and a miss from Sanford. Count even once again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Upstairs, ball 3 as they check on Hill at first. He's back in time. That'll make it a full count, 3-2. Every batter so far this inning has worked into a full count against Ishii. As they check on Hill at first, he's back in time. Already the most times I've seen them throw over at Ben Hill on the base paths. The 3-2. Hit down the first base line, but it'll go just foul. So the count stays full at 3-2 to Sanford. The 3-2. Swing and a miss as Sanford's fooled that time.
the plate for your Chinooks, number 6, the second baseman, Will Bass.
So that brings up Will Bass. And Bass, between today and yesterday, has walked 6 times in a row. Last time he drew a walk, it also drew in a run. So a free RBI for Bass. First pitch to Bass. Called a strike one on the inner half of the plate. Two down here in the bottom of the fourth. Chinooks up 2-0. The 0-1. Upstairs, ball one. Past the second baseman from Waylon Baptist in Plainview, Texas, also his hometown. The 1-1. Hit on the ground off the glove of Ishii. Chaperon gets to it. And they call Bass out over at first.
We are at the top of the fifth inning.
So that'll do it for the bottom of the fourth. Chinooks will leave one on in Ben Hill. They maintain a 2-0 lead over the Oilers. Backyard to start the top of the fifth inning here in Chugiak. First pitch to Darius Hill. Down and outside, ball one. After Hill, it'll be Trey Dawson and Jonathan Washam. The 1-0. Breaking pitch in there, called strike one. Brody Harris still on the hill for the Chinooks, starting his fifth inning of action. The 1-1. Misses down into the turf for ball two. Chinooks with a 2-0 lead over the Oilers, despite only having one hit. The 2-1. That's hit out towards left field. Masato going over. Makes a diving effort, but that'll drop foul. It's a nice effort from Masato, but won't come up with the ball. Because now it looks like Nate Lagos will be the one to help him up out there. So the count evened up. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hill. Here's the 2-2. And he does not go around, says third base umpire Brad Polk. That makes it a full count, 3-2 to Hill. Hill is 0 for 2 on the day with a ground out and a strikeout. The 3-2. Popped up left side. It goes out of play.
Sponsored by Edward Jones Financial Investments and Gavin Reed.
Count still even to center fielder Darius Hill. The 3-2. He'll take that pitch low for ball 4. So Hill will draw the walk. 4th walk surrendered today by Harris.
Number 24, the shortstop, Trey Dawson.
Harris will now check on Hill over at first. He'll dive back safely. Hill only 2 steals on the summer, has been caught stealing 4 times. First pitch to Dawson, hit well. Center field, Sanford going back. Make the grab. A couple steps shy of the warning track for out number 1. One down top of the 5th. Chinooks up 2-0. Brings Jonathan Washam up to the plate. Harris is going to check on Hill once again. Hill back in plenty of time. Washam up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 today with his single coming back in the 1st. First pitch to him. Upstairs, ball 1. Harris going to check over at Hill again. He's back in plenty of time. The 1-0. Outside, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Washam. The 2-0. Inside, ball 3. So Washam works it to a 3-0 count. Here's a 3-0. That's in there for a called strike 1. Three and 1 the count to Washam. Plays his ball at Louisiana Tech. Harris will check on Hill once again. Count 3 and 1. And that one's going to be hit out towards right field. Vansaw going back. He's not going to get to that one in time as that's going to play off the wall. They're going to send home Hill. That's going to be cut off by Shackelford. Hill will come in to score. So an RBI double from Washam makes it a 2-1 game. Chinook still on top.
Number 23, the designated hitter, Seth DeWitt.
So that brings up Seth DeWitt. Comes up to the plate with 1 down. As a little bit of rain starting to come down here in Chugiak. First pitch to DeWitt. Taken for a called strike one. DeWitt today has drawn 2 walks for each time he's came to the plate. Here's the 0-1. Up a little high for ball one. One and one the count to DeWitt, the first baseman from Jacksonville University. The 1-1. Up a little high again for ball two. Two and one the count to DeWitt. Washam the runner at second. The 2-1. Fouled off right side. It'll go out of play.
And that ball sponsored by the Chinooks shop.
Count even at 2-2 to DeWitt. Here's the 2-2. Misses for ball three. Full count now 3-2 to Seth DeWitt. Just one down top of the fifth. Chinooks on top by a 2-1 score. Here's the 3-2. That one's popped straight up left side. Millard will call it, and he'll make the grab for out number two.
Number 12, the left fielder, Brody Wofford.
That brings Brody Rofford up to the plate. Top of the fifth. Chinooks up 2-1. A runner at second in Jonathan Washam. First pitch to Wofford. Outside, ball one. Wofford 0 for 2 today with a flyout and a ground out. The 1-0. Breaking pitch in there, called strike one. Count even 1-1 to Wofford. The 1-1. Breaking pitch again in there for a called strike. Count now 1-2 in this Brody versus Brody matchup. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Wofford goes down swinging. And that'll do it for the top of the fifth. But the Oilers do put one on the board. Chinooks still on top, though, by a score of 2-1. Hunter Vansaw up to the plate to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Chinooks up by a 2-1 score. Here's the first pitch to Vansaw. Up and away, ball 1. New pitcher on the hill for the Oilers would be Junior Ramirez. Ramirez from Faulkner University. The 1-0 is going to be fouled out of play. This is actually Ramirez's first outing of the entire summer. He just got to the team a few days ago. As it's now a 2-1 count to Vansaw. Here's the 2-1. That one's fouled back out of play. Count 2-2 to Hunter Vansaw. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Vansaw goes down on his strikes. He is out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th.
Coming to the plate for your Chinooks, number 24, the third baseman, Tim Millard.
So Tim Millard coming up to the plate. 1 down, bottom of the 5th. First pitch to Millard. Misses down and in for ball 1. Millard on the day 0 for 2 with the ground out and a strikeout. The 1-0. Head out towards right field. Diving attempt not brought in by Seifert, as that dropped in foul ground anyway. Count even at 1-1 to Tim Millard. The 1-1. Way upstairs as it gets all the way back to the fence. It's 2-1 now to Millard. Third baseman for the Chinooks. Two and one, the count to Millard. Here's the 2-1. Breaking pitch will just miss. That's ball 3. Three and one, the count to Millard. 1 down, bottom of the 5th. The 3-1. That one's scorched down the left field line. That'll go out of play. If that's straightened out, that's a home run for Millard. Count now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Tim Millard. The 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. So Millard draws the walk. Brings Ethan Whisker up to the plate.
Now batting for your Chinooks, number 25, the first baseman, Ethan Whisker.
So Whisker up to the plate. Shackelford on deck. Masato in the hole. I only say that because it looks like he's warming up to come in to pitch. First pitch to Whisker will miss inside for ball one. And with a Chinook lack of depth, if Masato comes into pitch, I think that would move Preston White into the outfield. Whisker up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 today. His single came back in the third. The 1-0. Hits that one into left field. That'll drop in for another base hit. Whisker so far the only man on the Chinook with a hit, and he's got both of them. Funny how that works. So that brings Aaron Shackelford up to the plate. And Masato now comes to the dugout realizing he's on deck. So just one down, bottom of the fifth. Chinooks have runners at first and second. Millard's at second, Whisker at first. Shackelford on the day 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. First pitch to him. Right down the pipe for a called strike one. Shaq second on the team in average, hitting .273. Leo 1. Outside ball 1. Count even 1-1 to Shackelford. The 1-1. Chopped back to Sanchez on the mound. And he'll just go over to first for the out, and he will get that out. So basically, that hit from Shaq does the same thing that a sacrifice bunt would have done, as it gets Whisker to second and Millard to third. So Alex Masato comes up to the plate with 2 down. Here in the bottom of the fifth, Chinooks on top 2-1. Masato, we first pitch swing and pops that one up left side. That will be brought in by Dawson for the final out of the inning. So I'll do it for the bottom of the fifth. Chinooks will leave a couple stranded. They maintain their 2-1 advantage over the Oilers. Welcome back as we're about to start at the top of the sixth inning between the Chinooks and the Oilers. Chinooks on top by a 2-1 score. Jeffrey Chopron will lead things off for the Oilers. After him, it'll be Austin Piscotty and Jared Huber. New pitcher on the hill for the Chinooks. Making his way in from left field, it'll be Alex Masato. First pitch to Chopron, he'll think about but holds up. It's ball one. With Masato coming in to pitch the move to Preston White from the DH spot out to left field. Chopron will take that one out of play. So for the first time, we'll see Preston White out in the field in a spot that's not on the mound. The 1-1 to Chopron is fouled back and out of play. 1-2 the count to Chopron, the sophomore from southeastern Illinois. The 1-2. Fouled back and out of play again. The 1-2. Third straight time, Chopron will take one out of play. So the count remains 1-2 to Chopron. Nobody down here in the top of the sixth. The 1-2. Down into the turf for ball two. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Chopron goes down swinging. That's strikeout number one for Masato today. Number 25, the third baseman, Austin Piscotty. One down, top of the sixth inning. Chinooks up 2-1. First pitch to Austin Piscotty will come in and plunk him on in the back. That didn't sound like that felt too great. Number one, the catcher, Jared Huber. Brings Jared Huber up to the plate. One down, top of the sixth. Oilers have a runner in Austin Piscotty. First pitch to Huber. In there, called strike one. Huber on the day 0 for 1. Sacrifice bunt in the second, struck out in the fourth. The 0-1. That's hit out towards right field. Vansaw will make the grab for out number 2. Number 26, the right fielder, Alex Seifert. So that'll bring up Alex Seifert to the plate, 2 down. Top of the sixth inning, Chinooks up 2-1. First pitch to Seifert in there, called strike one. Seifert on the day 0 for 1. Flew out in the fourth, and that was actually the flyout that Piscotty got doubled up on back in the fourth. The 0-1. Down and outside, ball one. Count even 1-1 to Alex Seifert. The 1-1. Swing and a miss as that one's blown right by him. 1-2 now the count. The 1-2. Barely fouled back by Seifert. Stays alive at 1-2. One and two the count to Alex Seifert. The 1-2, runner on the move. That'll miss inside. But Piscotti will be able to steal second. Actually, the first stolen base of the summer for Piscotti. Pretty weird time for that to happen, considering it's now a 2-2 count with two down. Two and two the count to Seifert. With two down, top of the sixth inning, Chinooks up 2-1. Here's the 2-2. Hit on the ground towards first. Whisker stops it, keeps it in front of him, takes it to the bag himself for out number 3. So some nice defensive effort there from Whisker. That'll do it for the top of the sixth. The Oilers will leave one on. They still trail your Chinooks by a score 2-1. Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field as we're starting the bottom of the sixth inning. Chinooks is on top by a 2-1 score. The pitcher on the hill for the Oilers, Haston Freeman. He'll be facing Preston White. He hits that back up the middle. Chaperon will field it. Gets it over to first just in time for out number 1.
Kenny Gill for your Chinooks.
So that brings Ben Hill up to the plate. One down, bottom of the sixth. First pitch to Hill is going to miss for ball one. The 1-0. Down low for ball two. Hill, 0 for 0 today, has drawn a walk each of the first two times he's came up to the plate. The 2-0. That'll miss for ball three. 3-0 now to Hill. The 3-0. In there called strike one. The 3-1. Outside, ball four, so Hill drawing his third walk of the day. So Zach Sanford up the plate. One down, bottom of the sixth. Chinooks up 2-1 over the Oilers. First pitch to Sanford. Hit back up the middle, somehow stopped by Dawson. He was able to get the out at second, but not in time over at first.
Now batting for your Chinooks, number 6, the second baseman, Will Bass.
So that brings Will Bass up to the plate, 2 down, bottom of the sixth inning. First pitch to Bass. Up and away, ball one. Bass 0 for 1 today, has drawn 2 walks. Last time up, he grounded out to second. The 1-0. Popped up left side, it'll go out of play. Count even at 1-1 to Will Bass. The 1-1. Down into the turf for ball two. Two and one the count to Bass. The 2-1. That'll be fouled out of play. Count even once again, 2-2 to Bass. 2 down, bottom of the sixth. Chinooks up by a score of 2-1 over the Oilers. The 2-2. Down into the turf for ball three. That'll make it a full count, 3-2 to Will Bass. The 3-2. Just barely fouls that one back. Stays alive at 3-2. So now Freeman and Huber having a quick chat. Count still full, 3-2 to Will Bass. Sanford, the runner at first. The 3-2. Up and away, ball 4. For the 7th time in 8 trips up to the plate, Bass will draw a walk.
Number 22, right fielder Hunter Vansa for your Chinooks.
So that brings Hunter Vansaw up to the plate. 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Zach Sanford, your runner at second. Will Bass, the runner at first. First pitch to Vansaw. In there for a called strike 1. Vansaw on the day 0 for 2. Also drew a walk. Here's the 0-1. Inside. That comes in and plunks Vansaw. Didn't really react as if he had been hit, but takes the free base nonetheless.
Batting for your Chinooks, number 24, the third baseman, Tim Millard.
So that loads up the bases for Tim Millard. Second time today he's came up to the plate with the bases loaded. First time he struck out swinging. So here's the first pitch to Millard. Catches the inside corner, called strike 1. Here's the 0-1. This is low for ball 1. Millard on the day, he's 0 for 2. Drew a walk his last time up. The 1-1. Hit hard on the ground. Dawson fields it. But he's safe. He pulls Washam off the bag. So that'll bring in another Chinook run to score in the form of Zach Sanford. So the Chinooks take a 3-1 lead. Now they're going to come out and argue with South Drayton because why not? Last time made a call like that, they overturned it. So we'll see if they try and do the same. And they're going to confer. Wouldn't be the first time it's happened that they overturn the call. So let's see if they see something different. And I'm going to wait until they confer before we can safe.
Now batting for your Chinooks, number 25, the first baseman, Ethan Whisker.
So Ethan Whisker coming up to the plate. First pitch to Ethan Whisker. In there, called strike 1. Here's the 0-1. It's going to miss for ball 1. Here's the 1-1. Down and outside, ball 2. Here's the 2-1. That one's hit out towards right field. Seifert going back. Makes the over-the-shoulder catch. Impressive play by Seifert. That'll save a run or two. So that'll do it for the bottom of the 6th. The Chinooks put an insurance run up on the board. They have a 3-1 lead as we enter the top of the 7th. And with it being a doubleheader, it'll be the 7th and potentially the final inning here in Game 1 of the doubleheader in Chugiak. Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field as we're starting the top of the 7th. Darius Hill's first pitch swinging as that'll drop into center field for a base hit. So Hill is on with a single, his first hit of the day. That brings up shortstop Trey Dawson.
Number 24, the shortstop Trey Dawson.
Dawson up to the plate, nobody down. He represents the tying run. First pitch to Dawson. Hit out towards left field. That'll drop in for a base hit of his own. So back-to-back hits on the back-to-back pitches for the Oilers. Puts runners at first and second with nobody down for Jonathan Washam.
Number 4, the first baseman, Jonathan Washam.
As now it looks like Nick Campy is getting loose in the Chinook bullpen. So thank you for joining us here on the Chinook Radio Network. Top of the 7th inning, and it's a doubleheader, so this could be the final inning if all goes right for the Chinooks. They have a 3-1 lead. They've allowed the first 2 hitters to get on base in the form of Darius Hill and Trey Dawson. That brings up Jonathan Washam to the plate with nobody down. First pitch to Washam. Catches the outside corner, called strike 1. Washam 2 for 3 today with a single and a double. The 0-1. Popped up right side. Whisker running over. He'll have enough room to bring that in for out number 1. One down here. Top of the 7th.
The designated hitter is Sid DeWitt.
So Seth DeWitt comes up to the plate, 1 down. Runners at first and second. Chinooks clinging to the 3-1 lead. First pitch to DeWitt. Taken for a called strike 1. The 0-1's going to miss just outside for ball 1. One and 1 the count to DeWitt. He's 0 for 1 today. Also drawn a couple walks. The 1-1. Outside ball 2. Tying run at first. Go ahead run for the Oilers at the plate and Seth DeWitt. The 2-1. Hit on the ground, right side. Whisker fields it. Flips it over to Masato. And he'll run over the bag in time for out number 2. So the runners advance a base.
Number 12, the left fielder, Brody Wofford.
Brings Brody Wofford up to the plate, 2 down, top of the 7th. Chinooks up 3-1. First pitch to Wofford. Outside ball 1. Now he wants to have a quick chat with Masato. One on the count to Brody Wofford. Tying run for the Oilers is over at second. The 1-0. That's foul tipped back. Evens up the count at 1-1. Count still even, 1-1 to Wofford. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Moves the count to 1-2 to Wofford. Count 1-2 to Wofford. 2 down, top of the 7th. The 1-2. Outside, ball 2. Count even once again, 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Inside, ball 3. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at third and Hill. Runner at second and Dawson. He represents the tying run. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. The bat from Wofford goes flying. And that will do it for this contest. Wofford swinging and missing. Chinooks win by a score of 3-1 in game one of the doubleheader here against the Oilers. So the Chinooks, after losing 10 straight, will win their second in a row. And so our player of the game, given the fact that the Chinooks just drew a lot of walks and not much activity on offense, going to go with the man who started today's game. Brody Harris is our player of the game. So stay tuned for my interview with Brody here in just a little bit. Again, Chinooks win game one of the doubleheader by a score of 3-1. And folks, with the amount of time between the double headers, I'm just going to save the post-game interview for after game number 1. So hopefully I'll be able to tag team it with Brody and whoever player of the game is for game number 2. So stick around as we're about to start game 2 in probably about 20 minutes or so here from Chugiak.